Welcome to Sleeping with Sarah. I'm Sarah Albritton, a narcoleptic comedian, and I'm here in bed with my guest, Luke Null.
I don't have narcolepsy, but I am tired.
How did you sleep last night, Luke?
Not good. I had too many White Claws.
How many is too many for you?
That's a good question. I had to drive a car, which is nice because White Claw, you can drink 11 of them and still drive a car legally in the state of California.
Oh, really?
No,
I didn't think so.
Like, it's bad. You shouldn't.
How much do you have to weigh to be that? Like maybe 11 for some people.
Yeah, I feel like I had a handful, but not too many, 2 or 3.
Yeah.
But enough to where I didn't sleep as well as if I hadn't had any drinks.
Yeah, that White Claw's coming back.
Sometimes you wake up and you're like, oh, I had alcohol,
Yeah, I've been trying to do those hangover pills or drinks, and
yeah,
that's
those
really
are
helpful.
Good. Those are clutch. And it's like pretty much just like drinking a little salt. Is what it tastes like.
Yeah, but it's basically a shit ton of vitamins that make you not have a hangover. I went to a Scotch tasting on Friday, and I thought it was going to be a small thing. I thought it was going to be like, hey, we're going to try like 4. I didn't know there'd be like 4 full cocktails and then also like a thing. So I had to go and get a hangover drink on the way back. On the way home.
I remember my roommate in Chicago was like an event coordinator for a minute, and he did a Scotch whiskey exhibition at the Field Museum.
Oh.
And it was like you just had your little like tulip glass and you went around and just took little tiny sips of all these different scotches. I got drunker than I've ever been in my life. You know what I mean? I was just like, oh my gosh, I did not intend on getting full-blown wasted at a nice museum with dinosaur bones.
Yeah. Well, that's a beautiful location, though, for something like that.
It's great.
Like you get drunk and you just start talking to the dinosaurs, and then...
I wound up at karaoke, yeah. I was doing Rich Girl by Hall & Oates.
That's tough. A good one.
It's short but sweet. Tough range, though.
Yeah.
It's a high range.
Now I think it reminds me a little bit Guardians of the Galaxy because they play that.
Sure.
Yeah. I love it, though. It's a good song.
What's your go-to?
Heartbreaker.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Great choice.
Yeah. It's a great, I love that rock, Pat Benatar, Heart, Joan Jett, like that's like my range that I can like pull off. Like I can sing. I'm not like ever going to be like a lead in a musical, but like I can sketch level sing. I can get by, right?
Character sing.
I can I can character sing. I've done, improvised musicals. I've done singing and sketch and, comedy stuff, but I'm never like I'm never going to get a part auditioning for a musical in the traditional way.
I know what you mean. Yeah, I feel like I was the same way where it's like I was always not the lead but the second guy in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which
you're like the funny one. They forgive your singing ability because you're comically
totally. Totally. Yeah, I can get away with a little bit.
Yeah.
But
I like your songs are so fun.
Oh gosh. Real F jams.
When did you start doing did you start doing comedy music, or what was first, comedy or music?
I think I was like in high school and a bunch of my friends were all in bands, and so all my friends were in bands, and I'm like, I should learn how to play guitar, in case they eventually need another guitar player.
Oh, like
a singer.
Like a pinch hitter.
Exactly. I was like, my time will come, and my time never came. I was in a band. Well, not really. A little like bands that never stuck around for more than like a month, but like it never really came to fruition. And then I started being like, oh, I just need to play on my own.
Yeah.
And then like I realized I was like, oh yeah, this was never gonna be my avenue. But comedy stuff, I was like, well, I know how to play music, so I might as well be annoying in 2 different ways.
Yeah, come see my comedy shows, come see my music shows, come see my comedy music shows.
Exactly. It's the highest form of comedy. Everyone always loves it. As soon as you say, hey, you want to come see a comedy music show? They go, oh, no, I don't. Don't want to do that at all.
Did you do, I know you did like improv and sketch in Chicago. Did you do ever traditional stand-up in Chicago?
A little bit, but almost right from the start, I was involved in the guitar.
Yeah.
Pretty much right from the jump.
You're like, this is coming with me everywhere.
There was one video. That's funny. So, I did that one season at SNL, right?
Yes.
And when they called me and told me like, you have the job at SNL, they had like a woman that called me and was like, have you scrubbed your like social media? Have you like YouTubed your name and seen what pops up? And this was like this was like 2017. I was like, no. And so I YouTubed just my name, and what popped up was a clip of me doing stand-up from literally the first time I ever did stand-up.
No.
So my first stand-up set ever, and I watched it and I was like, oh no. It's not that it was like cancelable bad, like, but it was just like I did this whole bit about how I had smuggled my brother's piss into a like a drug testing facility, which is true.
Yeah.
But I'm just like, this is not a great look.
Yeah, like you don't want the headline of
yes.
the new when the Deadline article comes out, you're like, who's Luke Null?
Huge druggie.
Like,
yeah,
he brags about his pee.
Exactly. That was exactly the thing. And so I remember being like, oh fuck, like how do I get this taken off? I like looked up like who, because it wasn't my.
Oh, that's even worse.
I didn't put it up there.
If it wasn't yours.
No, it wasn't.
Oh.
And so I was like, what the hell? This was like the school's like account. And so I'm like messaging it because they're gonna
wait, the school posted that?
This like it was like some association, like a student org associated with the school. And so I'm like messaging it being like, hey, can you take this down? Nothing. And so quick thinking, my random roommate from college, I went to Ohio University, he was now living in LA working for YouTube.
Oh.
And I was like, is there any way you can like flag this video for copyright or like get it taken down? He was like, baby, I got you.
Oh.
No, he was like,
oh man.
So like if you go to like for the longest time I had that URL saved. Like if you go to it, it goes like, this was removed due to a copyright claim on Paramount Pictures. It's like, but no, it's just my bad stand-up about me smuggling piss into a drug facility.
I kind of want to know that story now, though, because I'm very curious
about my first stand-up. No. I know I got this like summer job and they needed me to drug test, and I was at the time just living high.
Oh,
I was just high all the time.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, fuck, there's no way. They need this by tomorrow and I'm high now. You know, like I'm just like, there's no way.
No amount of cranberry juice is going to fix that.
There was
right?
no situation that I was going to be able to pass a drug test. None of those like crash test thing. And so like I go into my brother's room and I was like, I need your piss. And he's like, I smoke too.
Oh no!
And
so
I was
this
like,
how you found out that is it younger brother?
It's my younger brother. I was like, what the fuck? And so then he's like, but I have a friend who will sell you his clean piss. And so I paid this kid $20 to pee in a condom for me. And so I electrical taped.
You taped it to your leg.
To my inner thigh, a condom filled with piss. And I get in there and I am so nervous. I'm shaking. I'm sweating. I'm like from a mile away, obvious that I'm doing something wrong. Like I'm guilty from a mile away. And the woman has me empty out my pockets and like put my wallet and keys and stuff outside the room, which was a problem in my head because I'm like, I knotted this condom shut with piss in it. And I had like a little like safety pin in there to pop it.
Oh.
And so she sees me and I'm like shaking and she goes, I think I need to pat you down. And I was like, oh my God, I'm so fucked. And she starts patting me down and she touches the condom. As soon as she gets to it, she touches it and she goes, oh, I'm so sorry.
She thought she
touched my dick. It was like down to my fucking knee. Like she had to think that I had like a minimum 18-inch just thick hog, like Pringles can hog. And I remember like, oh my God. And then she lets me in there. I take the condom off. I double knotted it. I cannot get this thing. So I have to bite it.
Ew.
I bite the piss condom. I fill it up, but it doesn't, like, I pour out all the pee into it, but the lube from the condom was like floating on top of the piss. So I had to like flick it. I had to be like,
Oh no.
I'd like fish out the condom or the lube from the condom and flick all the lube out of the piss. And then after I did that, it didn't make the line. Like it wasn't enough piss. Mm-hmm. And so I spent like 2 minutes just like spitting.
Spitting?
Just because I needed like a tiny bit more. And so I just was like spitting and spitting and spitting into it until it finally had enough juice in there. And I ended up getting the job. Totally cool. And
you're lucky they didn't watch you. Like if it was.
If they had, I was guilty from a mile away. There's no reason I should have passed that, but I did, and I proceeded to drive a company car or truck for the whole summer, and I eventually did wreck it.
Oh God. That's why they do drug tests.
That's why they do drug tests. I wasn't high at all. I was just they just worked me so hard, like a 16-hour day, and I tried to drive back to Cincinnati all in one go, and I fell asleep on the highway and hit an Ohio Department of Transportation vehicle.
But that's also that is kind of their fault for making you drive 16 hours.
I blame them. No, it was my fault. I should not have done that, but.
See, that's a job I could never do. Like, I could not imagine driving for that long.
It was bad. I mean, I was doing it so that I could have like a long weekend. I was like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Because they don't keep track of you. So,
yeah.
I was like the guy on the side of the highway that like in the fluorescent vest and the tripod where you're like, what are they doing?
Yeah.
That was my job.
Did you know what you were doing?
Not at all. Not at all.
You're like, you're just going to put on this vest and just coordinate.
I had no idea what I was fucking doing. But I did wreck their truck. If you ever... This is just a word of the wise. I'm going right down the barrel. Mm-hmm. If you're out there and you're a youngster and you wreck a company car, that's totally cool. It doesn't increase your insurance at all. It's actually super rad. If you're gonna ever wreck someone's car, make sure it's a car that belongs to a company.
And if it's on company time.
And be paid while you do it. That's true. Yeah. I was being paid.
Because if you got injured, then that's also company owes you money for that.
Yeah, no injuries. That was nice. That was lucky. And what was even more fucked up is they hired me again the next summer. Like they didn't. They were like, you did a good job. You just at the end of the summer you wrecked the truck.
Yeah. So just don't do that this time, and you get the job again.
Don't fall asleep. And then next time I didn't smoke as much weed before and I think I still was like smoking K2. Did you ever smoke K2?
No. Is that the thing that only lasts like 15 minutes? Is that the?
That's salvia.
Oh, sorry. I didn't do that.
Which is way worse.
That's way worse.
way worse. K2 is like synthetic weed.
Oh.
And for a while in Ohio, it was like over the counter legal, but it was basically like smoking potpourri. It had to be so bad for you, but you did get kind of high. And I would do that instead of.
And in Ohio, if you can get kind of high.
If you can get kind of high and you can buy it at a gas station, I did it.
Yeah.
I smoked salvia. That's another PSA for the kids down there. If you're smoking salvia, sit down. Don't be standing up and out in public and stuff.
Or be laying in a bed. Be somewhere comfy.
Laying in a bed. Be somewhere
have different textured things to feel and have fun with, right?
Yes. It's you wanna be comfy, you wanna be in your gym jams. Salvia is bad. It's bad.
What part of Ohio are you from?
I'm from Cincinnati.
Okay. Oh, not too far from me in Louisville. Yeah.
Good old Louisville.
Yeah.
Shout out to the KFC Yum Center.
Yeah. Do you go back a lot now, or?
I go back. My folks are still there, so my parents are there. My brother just bought a house on the Kentucky side over in Covington. So yeah, I go back a decent amount. I always got to catch a stupid Bengal game every year. Got to go back and watch my Benjis.
Yeah.
One home game usually every year with my brother. Last year we went to the NFL game where the guy almost died on the field.
Oh.
And it was like the first game that they like stopped in the middle of the game.
Yeah.
And they're like, everyone leave.
Oh, weird.
So literally I was so fired up. I'm like, let's go. It's the first quarter. Guy almost dies. The most effed up thing ever.
Ugh.
Ambulance takes him away. We're just like, okay, I'm 9 beers in and my edible just kicked in and now I have to go home.
And you had to deal with this kind of trauma that you watched.
It was like messed up. Yeah, that was intense.
My brother was at the NCAA playoff game where Wade snapped his leg and like that. Like I couldn't.
It's brutal.
I can't watch that stuff. Like
No.
it's just like
leg snapping.
Like I can do horror, but I can't do body horror. Like if it's like something physical, like
gore.
Like that's just like if I had to look away for a couple minutes, fine, but I can't do Aronofsky, you know?
Yeah, I'm with you. It's, gore stuff. There was a time where I was into it. All like the Saw movies, and I was into it. I did love those. But no, it's different when you're watching it in the flesh.
Yeah. I think that's messed up. That's tough. And
have you broken a leg?
I broke a wrist when I was.
I broke my wrist too.
So I was rollerblading at a friend's house, and I think my rollerblades I was used to had a stopper in the front.
Oh, and they had them in the
back. And I was going down a hill.
Always was tougher for me.
Yeah, when I was going down the hill, I went forward thinking there was a stopper, and there wasn't. I fell forward. But the thing is, I was a dramatic child, and I was, to be fair, yes, I was a very dramatic child. And so we had to go on vacation like 2 days later. And my mom was like, shut up. She's just like, you know, whatever. We went on vacation to Florida for like 10 days and I was still complaining. And then she got me checked up and realized, oh shit, her arm was broken the whole time.
Wow. I did that to my little brother. His leg. My mom was the same way. She's like, you're fine. And then like a week later, he's like still limping. And it's like, his foot was broken, and he was just walking around on a broken foot for a week. But
it's hard to tell. And if you're a parent, it's like going to the doctor, figuring all that stuff out. I get it now as an adult, but like...
Yeah. And it's one thing if it's like I broke my wrist in like the most embarrassing way, which was on stage at an improv show.
Okay. I thought... that is embarrassing. I thought you were gonna say like masturbating or something.
You would really have to go for it to break your wrist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You probably had to knock something off the shelf and that had to fall on your hand, and then
there would have to be a series of unfortunate events that back to back to break your wrist jacking off.
But during an improv show.
I was standing on a chair telling a story about how I was in a trapeze family and about how I had fallen.
Okay.
And so I'm telling this story about how I had this terrible fall, and then I for real fell. Like the chair slipped out from under me, and I just ate shit.
So nobody pulled it. It was just like half it. Yeah.
I just for real hurt myself in a very real way. Came down on my wrist, popped right back up, finished the show. But I remember standing against like the back line when you're not in the scene anymore. And I remember turning to my buddy and being like, I'm 90% sure I just broke my wrist. I'm pretty sure I just broke my wrist.
But you went through the whole show because the show's got to go on.
The show had to go on for the 6 people. I'm sure. No, I'm sure. But it was embarrassing. I immediately went, and there was weirdly a doctor in the audience that night.
And did he come up to you afterwards?
He came after me right away, and he was like, "Let me see. That looked like it hurt." And I was like, "It did." And he went like, "I would immediately go to an urgent care and get this." Yeah. He's like, "You probably broke it."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Yup."
Yep. I think I know.
Feels like it.
Oh, that's awful.
Yeah, it was bad.
And is that your playing? Are you right-handed?
I'm right-handed. Yeah, that's my strum hand. But no, I broke like your scaphoid is what it's called. So it's like where your kind of hand connect. It's like these little connecty bones in here.
That's what happened to my foot. I sprained my ankle in college, and I guess maybe it was worse than a sprain, or they didn't handle it right. Because when I started,
and it never quite.
No, I came out here. I started hiking a lot because I was not a big in Chicago. There's nowhere to hike.
No.
So, but I fell in love with hiking.
Unless you want to go to Starved Rock, the worst hiking in the world.
But I would go like 4 to 5 times a week. I'd be like hiking a lot. And then my foot started hurting. I thought it was like plantar fasciitis. Went to a doctor and he's like, well, let's try these things for a couple weeks. I was like, it's still not feeling well. Went to a foot doctor and they did a scan and the doctor was like, girl, this part of your ankle is not connected to this other part of your foot. It's like this. And he showed me and I was like, oh. So I had to get surgery for that. But those are the only like 2 things I've really broken.
I'm trying to break some more shit.
You want more stories?
Yeah, I want more. No, if I can help it, I'd like to not. But no, other than that, I think I broke a finger one time.
Yeah. Oh, I've had car doors slam. Like I think everyone goes through that. Which I think with with the new cars and stuff, I wonder someone should be putting in a prevention for that. Like if there's a finger in the way, like maybe make sure it doesn't close. Because I feel like that happens to every child growing up. And it's just I
say no, slam away. You need to learn. Slam those fingers in. Yeah.
So you're the type that would just like, a kid needs to learn to swim, throw you in the deep end.
See, I do think it's funny. I think that's a boomer mentality of like, thing we all know is shitty. Yeah. We need to make sure that stays shitty so that other people have to experience the shitty thing I had to experience. Where it's like, you realize that's like the worst way you can be as a person. It's like if you know something sucks, it's like, no, make sure it sucks forever.
Yeah.
So that everyone else has to have a shitty thing like me, where it's like, nah, dog.
No, because you guys had way easier ways to like buy a house and
they have
college was
easier
cheap.
everything.
Yeah, everything was easier. So yeah, we should make some things easier.
Yeah, they're mad. Sure. They're mad that people work from home. It's like, no, you should have to go into an office for no reason, like I did for 30 years. It's like, no,
we don't.
You don't have to do that.
Yeah.
There's no reason to do that.
And you've gotten married in the last couple of years.
I got married. Love wins. Oh my gosh. Shout out to love.
Were you engaged before the pandemic or was that during?
I got engaged right before the pandemic. Yes, right before the pandemic. I was engaged for like a few months. Mm-hmm. And so I was supposed to get married 2020.
You had a delayed.
And we delayed it. We had to delay it. Or no, I was supposed to get married 2021. But even then.
Yeah.
We delayed it. No. Shit. So I've been married. I just celebrated a year. A few months ago. You got
married 2022.
So we were supposed to get married February of 2021.
Okay.
And we were like, it was like
it's still not quite, yeah.
The Delta variant or whatever. So it was like the last big giant, like them shutting everything down again pop.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, God damn it. And so we ended up punting it. And don't worry, our wedding, everyone still got COVID. Even though we like punted it a whole year, everyone's still good. But I mean, if your wedding doesn't get COVID, did you even have a wedding?
Yeah, was it like good?
Yeah, did you even have fun? If people weren't making out with each other's buttholes.
Did you sing at the wedding or the proposal or both?
No, strictly forbidden. From doing anything musical. We did have our mutual friends, Jukebox the Ghost, played the wedding.
They played your wedding? That's amazing. Yeah. I ran into Tommy here. He was live drawing for a thing. Yeah.
Nice. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's great. Yeah. Love some jukebox.
Yeah. That's so fun.
Yeah, I made them dress up Hall Queen.
Oh, that's great.
We had them do a Queen set.
That's so great. I'd love to have them on here at some point.
And my dad rushed the stage drunk and requested a song. And I'm like, oh, no, this is a nightmare. And my dad requested one of their originals. Oh, so it was actually kind of cute. Which one? Everybody's Lonely.
I love that one.
It's a great tune.
I love that one.
But yeah, my dad, I was just like, as soon as he got up there, I was like, no. Just a nightmare scenario.
Well, I mean, if your family doesn't embarrass you at your wedding, did you have a wedding?
Again, yeah, you got to have COVID and you got to have dad say something on a hot mic.
So you already knew before the pandemic, you were like, I'm locking this down. We're gonna get. I feel like pandemic either accelerated a lot of relationships or ended relationships.
I think so.
What happened. Yeah.
No, but we were already engaged, so we were already planning the wedding, and we're like, oh shit.
Yeah.
It's gonna be weird.
But at least you already like knew, like, okay, I can hang with this person, 24/7 for months at a time because we can't go anywhere.
For sure.
That's good.
Yeah. We were already trapped. We already wanted to murder each other.
Yeah.
Before.
For me, it's like I was a commitment phobe before, and then the pandemic made me realize that I didn't want to die alone. And
sure.
That's how I got into a more serious relationship, was actually because of the pandemic.
Really?
Yeah.
So what phase were you getting to before you would pull the ripcord beforehand?
Right before the person would say that they loved me,
you would sense it and you'd be like,
yeah, no, I know that sounds really mean, but I think it's better than like lying to the person or being like, hey, I don't.
I know what you mean.
It'd be like 3 to 4 months usually, on average, And I feel like in Chicago it was quicker,
Yeah.
It was like that
mentality. In Chicago they love you faster.
No, in Chicago I could tell like, if I stayed with this person for a year, there would be like, you could tell everyone's like on a timeline. In LA, people are like, hey, we're all here to do shit. Let's like chill on that.
I know what you mean. I know what you mean. Yeah, different speed of life, I guess, in the Midwest. Mm-hmm. But then even beyond that, like if you go into, kind of out in the country, it's like if you're not on kid number 2 by the time you're 24.
I know.
You know what I mean? You're just like, oh boy. A lot of people I went to high school with and stuff, it's like, oh shit. They were already they were ready to go, starting popping them out.
That
21 years old.
Seems like a lot.
Yeah, I still wanted to pull out and spray it on her tummy or back.
Yeah. You want to make sure, you wait for that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't want to land a direct hit too
No,
early.
Nope, definitely not.
That's how I refer to having a kid. Landing a direct hit.
Well, by the time my mom was 28, she had 2 kids, you know.
Right.
And
Same,
and it's like, oh, that seems like a lot.
It seemed like a lot. And now it's just like, no, I'm too poor to have one. Too poor.
But I mean, yeah, I think it's like a thing. It's like I'm on the fence too. I mean, like I froze my eggs as a just in case. I'm like, I don't want to worry about it later.
I hear you. They jab you. How do they do it?
Oh,
they knock you out.
No, you have to take shots for like 3 weeks.
That much?
3
I
weeks.
feel like I did.
And then it's like, and then you do a surgery and they take it out. But like you have to go to the doctor every other day. It's like a lot. It's a ton of hormones. Right. And I have a super understanding partner. But the point is, I'll never have to be pregnant because because the narcolepsy have a surrogate. So I'll never have to actually go through the pregnancy part ever. So the closest I've already gone through that part. The hormonal.
Pregnancy, narcolepsy affects the pregnancy.
Well, I happen to have a pretty severe case. I take medicine that helps, but the thing that falls down, the falling down part, the medicine I take with that is an extremely regulated medication, and it is dangerous if you're pregnant to be on it. And if I went off of that, I would go back to what I did before, which is like having 3 full body cataplexies, like falling down thing a day. And if you're 7 months pregnant and you're falling down, it's like not. So the combination of that is technically not safe for me to be. And I've talked to
that makes sense.
And so it's like either risking it by taking this really kind of risky drug while still pregnant, not knowing what that would happen. Or, you know, and I just, or just being off medicine, sleeping all the time, not being productive, probably getting depressed. Also not a great way to bring a baby into the world.
No. It's funny in my head when you were like, I can't, in my head, I'm like, oh, you'd fall asleep during labor.
Oh. I love that idea. I'd be like, actually, that'd be great if I fell asleep and like missed most of the labor. And
is it?
Oh,
like, you did great.
Fantastic. No, I think it's just the other stuff. But, I figure what's nice is there is a financial barrier for surrogacy. It's very expensive. So it's like if I have a baby, then like I have to have enough money to really have a baby. And it's like, okay, when that comes, then it's like, okay, fine, I'll do that.
Yeah.
Unless somebody like wants, it's like I have a cousin or somebody that's like, yeah, I want to be. But I guess there are some people out there that exist that like enjoy pregnancy or something. But like, yeah, there's some people that like glow and they love it. Yeah, probably. But like, I know I'm not one of those people, and I don't think,
It seems like a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, it's one thing. It's like, I'm sure a very spiritual experience, but then there's like, you're waking up sick or you're farting on have like the gas pains where you're like you think something's wrong with the baby and you get to the hospital and they're just like you just can't fart because there's a baby blocking your tract or whatever.
I know, and I just went through 3 or 4 weeks where you couldn't smoke weed or drink or have sex or
you can't even fuck.
No, because that's how you become octomom. Like Like I've had to explain that to some friends. They're like, "Well, why not?" Because you have
so many ready in the chamber.
Yeah, no, because they make them all big.
Right.
So they make them all big so that they can this last. I did 2 rounds. The second round, I had 20 eggs and 19 were the size they wanted. So they make them all huge, and so usually just a cycle 1 on each side is big, and so that one, it just that's how you become.
That's how you have 100 babies at once.
And I would not survive that. That would not be good.
Yeah, that's too much.
Yeah.
Yeah, my wife says she's not quite at the point where she wants to have kids yet, but she's like, I want to have 2 kids.
One of each.
She's like, but I only want to be pregnant once. And so I'm like, no, don't. Whatever you're thinking.
She wants to do a.
She wants to do twins. She's like, she just wants to fingers crossed have twins, and I'm like, if you take some sort of drug, we're going to end up with 11 kids. You know what I mean? Don't fucking.
My sisters are twins.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they're mirror twins. One's left-handed, one's right-handed, one's more right brain, one's more left brain. And they're
weird.
Yeah.
So, identical or fraternal?
They're actually technically identical, but they look different because one of them got a nose job. Deviated septum reason, but.
Nose job. You're called out.
But
does the other one not have a deviated septum?
I think everyone has a deviated septum. That's just the excuse for the nose job.
Okay.
But
coming in hot.
No, they're great, but they're very hard-headed, and they both have. It's weird. They both have a son. They both got divorced the same year, and now they're dating best friends in Louisville, Kentucky.
I love that.
It's so crazy.
That is awesome. Now, you know what's fucked up though? There's something to be said about like, I know like a pair of identical twins that are married and like hang out all the time with each other's, significant other.
Yeah.
There's got to be something really weird. If you're an identical twin, you're both married, and your brother's wife, your brother's wife would fuck you.
Oh.
In a like in an animalistic way, like she's attracted, like like this woman who's married to my brother finds me hot. I look just like him.
That is interesting. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just always thought about that. Like people who date identical twins, you're like, so you think my brother's hot? It's like, yes, he looks exactly like you. Yeah. He looks exactly the same as you. So yes, I do think your brother's hot.
Well, or knowing that this other person has essentially seen you naked.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you look
like,
the same.
Same dick. Same dick as my brother.
Yeah, it's weird.
That'd be weird if
really,
everything was the same except one brother had a big old Coke can.
That's exactly what I thought. Like, how bad? Oh, that would be awful.
Yeah, it'd be bad. A Coke can?
No, well, I mean that's too big. It's too wide. It's too wide. It's way too wide. That would not work. That would hurt too much.
Great. Not great.
I see you brought your guitar with you.
I did, but if I'm being totally honest, I don't even have anything really in mind.
You don't? Okay.
Not really.
No.
I was more just like, who knows?
Enjoy having it.
Yeah.
Do you name your guitars?
I don't, but I do refer to her as a her.
Okay.
They don't. So my guitar has a pronoun, but not a proper noun.
Okay, not a name. Yeah. And do you have certain ones like is it just the one that you use, or do you have other ones at home that you favor? Or
You know what? This is the one that I've been using. This was my guitar here was my one splurge that year at SNL. I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a nice Martin. I've always wanted a nice Martin guitar. It's the brand. Because like if I'm on the road and I'm, touring around, I want it to be a good guitar that sounds good, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
And I always, at a guitar store, they have them all hanging up on the walls, and there's always, it's kind of like top shelf liquor.
Yeah.
Where there's top shelf guitars where they have to like go get the ladder out from the back room because no one really gets that guitar down because it's too much money.
Yeah.
I always wanted to buy.
Oh, the top shelf guitar.
One where they had to go I'm like, get a ladder out.
I want that fancy one.
I want to see what that one's like. And every once in a while, they'll go up and they'll get one down from the top, and it's like, it's not that good. You'll play it and you'll be like, no, this doesn't feel good.
Yeah.
But I did buy a halfway decent Martin. It wasn't from the top shelf, but it was. He needed a ladder, and that's all I needed.
Hey, you had to have the ladder.
If you need the ladder, it counts. It felt like I was flexing.
So did you move here right after New York, after SNL?
Immediately, yes. As soon as I was like getting fired on the phone, I was like talking to my wife, like, we're moving.
Wait, I heard that they don't they just don't renew your contract and you don't know till the deadline article. Is that no?
They called.
They did call.
Yeah, they called me.
Is it just like you already kind of know what's happening?
Yeah. You pretty much know. Yeah. You're not. They keep you waiting for months, so it kind of goes in and out of your mind. But for me, I was pretty sure I wasn't coming back. Yeah. I left on good terms though. They weren't like I didn't piss anyone off or.
I don't see you as someone that would like piss people off or make you bad of.
Wasn't my style, but some part of me saw how other people have gotten fired from that place in the past and like kind of kicked up some dust on their way out. It probably would have helped me if I had been a little bit more of a prick on the way out.
Oh, really?
I mean, just like...
Oh, marketing wise or like just people knowing who you are. Yes. Be like, oh, this is the guy that stormed off and shouted. I would
have liked to be like, fuck off. Hey, let me get all 3 cameras. Fuck you. No, I'm not really. But there's times where I was like, man, I wish I hadn't have gone out like a mouse fart. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but you're out here. You're doing stuff. You're touring.
Totally.
You're having a good time. You're at all the clubs. You're at Laugh Factory. You're at
one thing too that was nice about when I got fired there. No one knows. No one cared. It didn't matter. It was fine. But one thing that I did do, and I feel like it's been long enough that the statute of limitations has run out. Okay. I did steal thousands of dollars of clothing from.
From any time you were in a sketch.
My God! I mean, like. They have like a little closet with your name on it, and they buy you clothes that they think you would like to wear for the very last good nights for that.
Oh,
and when you come out on
that's
stage,
not even your clothes.
Those aren't your clothes. They buy you clothes for that. And I remember getting fired and being like, "Oh, I'm taking all of my clothes from that closet." I just cleaned it out. I just cleaned that closet out and went home with it. They don't care.
They don't care.
They didn't care.
It's in the budget. It's fine.
They don't care. They did not think about it again. So I still got some pretty bomb ass jackets from SNL. Thanks SNL for the cool shoes and cool jackets.
Well, but I think it all works out. There's a lot of people that only did it for, like Jenny Slate did it for sure.
Yeah.
She's doing cool. Like, I think everyone's doing cool shit, and it all kind of works out.
I couldn't be more over it at this point, especially now that I'm happy sharing that I stole from them.
Well, and also with the strike, they're not, we don't know what's going to happen.
Who knows? No, I got nothing but love. They let me come do shit for a year. It was very, the wildest year of my life for sure. Yeah. But, yeah.
Well, I always, we're starting to wind down the podcast. I always end by asking what your dreams are for the future.
My dreams. I want to, my dreams for the future. That's funny. I think it's fun. I feel like I'm going to be touring around a lot more in this year. And my dreams for the future are that tour is lucrative and fun and isn't disappointing, and that there's no landmines in any of the cities I'm going to. All the cities are fun. Not one of them sucks, and it's all worth it, and it waterfalls into more fun visits to other fun cities.
I love that. That's great. Well, thank you so much.
That won't be true though. There's going to be a little stinker in the mix. There always is, but I even the stinkers are fun sometimes.
Yeah. Well, I think it humbles you, right?
Totally. It totally does. And then there's times where it's like, sometimes you do like a corporate gig or something and you're like, it's not going well, but you're like, you get to roll your eyes back white and remember you've already cashed the check.
Yeah. Yep.
And it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah. They can't take the money back. They've already wasted it on you. That's another thing for the kids out there. As long as you already cashed the check, you already won the game and you can do whatever you want. Yep. Tell them to suck your butt.
I love these little
I like to go to
moments.
To the kids out there. Remember, get that paper and flip them the bird. You won the game already.
Oh, that's great. Well, thanks so much for doing the podcast.
Thank you for having me. Very comfy. Comfiest podcast by far.
We always end by saying good night, but you're also welcome to play a lullaby if you'd like.
I kind of want to. Is it cool if I just say good night?
Yeah,
I'm sorry. I set it me up.
Good night. Yeah. So good night, everybody.
Thanks for listening to Sleeping with Sarah, where I slept with Luke Null. Be sure to check out Luke's website for upcoming shows, lukenull.com, that's Null, and follow him on Instagram at Luke_Null, and on TikTok and Twitter, which are the same. You can catch me performing all August at the Edinburgh Fringe Fest with my show, Awake and Narcoleptic. If you like the podcast, please rate, review, and subscribe. Follow at Sleeping with Sarah on TikTok and YouTube, and at Sleeping with Sarah Pod on Instagram. Thanks to Josh Bryant for the music. Big shout out to Wolf Ramirez and the team at Jam in the Van. Please follow at Jam in the Van and check out their other podcasts and other live shows. I'll be releasing a new podcast each week, so tune in to find out who I have in bed with me next. If you want to find out more about me, go to sleepysarah.com or follow me on Instagram or Twitter at Sarah Albritton and TikTok at Sarah Albritton Comedy. Until next time, good night.
Sleeping with Sarah.